Welcome to House Talk, with videos that'll provide maintenance tips unique to Trilogy at Vistancia Homes. With your host, Doug Bowman. Hello and welcome. As you can expect, I get a lot of great comments and questions generated from my House Talk videos. So I've decided to do a few Q&A videos where I'll answer questions on related topics. Today's topic is dedicated to some of your kitchen questions related to water. So let's get right to them. Question 1. I think I'm having a problem with my water softener because I'm getting water spots when I hand wash my dishes. Well, this is actually a two-part question. The first being, how do you know if your water softener is working? If you've watched my video on water softeners, you already know how to set them and maintain them. You also learned what to look for, monitoring soap lather, the water's taste, and looking for calcium buildup. The best way to truly test if your water softener is working effectively is to use a water hardness test strip. Just take a hot water sample from anywhere in your house. Dip a test strip in for about a second and check the results against the water hardness chart on the package. The results should be 0 to 2 grains per gallon of hardness, preferably 0. If your softener is higher than this, verify it has adequate salt in the salt bin and the hardness setting is between 14 to 16. Perform a regeneration. Let the hot water run for a minute or two, and then test the water again. If it's still not anywhere near 0, then you should have your softener inspected by a professional. If you rely on your water softener, it's not a bad idea to have water hardness test strips around the house. You can get them at a local pool store, or you can buy them online. Just be sure to keep them closed up when you're not using them. The second part of this question is about water spots on dishes washed in the kitchen sink. In Trilogy, most of the homes were plumbed, with the water softener going to the kitchen sink's hot water line only. This is to protect the dishwasher and its parts from corrosion. The kitchen sink's cold water line does not use softened water because it's what would be used for a future reverse osmosis system. So if you're hand washing dishes with the faucet's cold or warm position, you're actually using some hard water, which can result in spotting. Try either using just the dishwasher or the faucet's hot water position only to see if your spotting problems go away. The next question is, I've changed the filters on my reverse osmosis system, but I still don't get the flow out of the RO's faucet like I used to. Do I need a new system? It's true that the filters provide resistance to water flow, even new filters. RO systems can have as many as 4, 5, or 6 filters. With so many filters, you're lucky to get any flow at all. To fix this problem, manufacturers provide a storage tank to provide an instantaneous supply of filtered water. The water slowly fills the storage tank as it's filtered, so it can be available on demand. But once the filtered water gets in the storage tank, how does it get out? The storage tank has a rubber bladder, or diaphragm. As the water enters the tank, it stretches the bladder, similar to compressing a spring. When the water is called for, the stretched bladder pushes the water up and out of the tank. The problem is that the bladder loses its energy as it loses its stretch. To force all of the water out of the tank, manufacturers use compressed air behind the bladder. As clean water enters the tank, it stretches the bladder and compresses the air to provide significantly more force to push the clean water out of the tank. So the condition of the filters determines how fast the water recharges, but the faucet's water velocity is more a function of the storage tank's ability to hold an air charge. Now, in answer to the question, do you need a new system? The answer is no, but you might need a new water tank if the air is leaking out or past the rubber bladder. If you want to test your air pressure yourself, it's not that difficult. All you need is a pressure gauge, a small compressor, or even a bicycle pump to recharge your storage tank. Here's what you do. First, turn off the water to the reverse osmosis system. Using the RO's faucet, fully drain the pressure into the sink. Leave the faucet open because more of the water is going to be forced out when we charge the tank with air. Then, check the pressure in the tank. You can add air to the tank just like a bicycle tire. You want typically, when you're done, 5 to 7 psi in the tank, which is about 3 to 5 pumps with a bicycle pump. You can verify this with an air gauge. If you need more help, just check out YouTube, which has several videos that'll walk you through this. Remember, when you turn the water back on, it may take up to an hour to completely refill the tank with water and completely compress the air. Here's an example of what a storage tank with a full air charge looks like and one with a half charge. You can see the difference is pretty huge. You should see a noticeable increase in your RO's water pressure. If the pressure degrades again over time, you may have an air leak in the tank. Replacement storage tanks can be purchased independent of the RO system and are much cheaper than replacing the whole thing. The last question for today is, if my refrigerator gets its water from my RO system, do I really have to buy one of those expensive refrigerator filters? The answer is absolutely no. You don't need the expensive refrigerator filter, and removing the filter will not only save you replacement costs, but it'll improve your water pressure, resulting in faster flow. Now the question is, can you actually do it? First, let's see if the water that goes through your refrigerator is actually going through your RO system. It's easy. Simply close the valve on the top of your RO storage tank and fill the big glass of water from the fridge. If it now fills at a slower speed, your fridge is being supplied from the RO system. If the water still comes out at the same rate, it's not. Check it out and see if this happens to you. Now, whether you can eliminate the filter depends on the design of the filter. If you have one of those simple inline refrigerator filters that sits behind your fridge, you can just remove it and connect the hose back to the refrigerator and you'll be good to go. If your refrigerator was made with a built-in filter, there are 3 directions that you can end up taking. Before we go any further, open the RO storage tank valve again to supply full flow to the refrigerator. Find and remove the filter. Follow the user manual's instructions if you're unsure, and have a towel handy to wipe up any drips. Once the filter is removed, fill a glass with water and observe the flow. Some filters are automatically bypassed when the filter is removed. This is the easiest option. If you get full flow, you're good to go. Some filters can be removed and replaced with an optional bypass plug. These plugs are about 20 to 40% the cost of a new filter, and once you install them, you never have to make another purchase. To see if your refrigerator has a bypass plug available, search on your refrigerator's model number and the words filter bypass plug. If you can't find one online, don't give up yet. You can always call an appliance parts store and ask them to do the research for you. If the plug is available, great. If not, you've pretty much run out of options, and it looks like you'll be writing some checks in the future for some new refrigerator filters. Well, I hope you enjoyed this Q&A video. Feel free to subscribe to my House Talk channel, and don't forget to hit the like button.